Hello, hello, this is Carissa and Tom on Tentacles, the podcast from Crown and Reach. We are feeling our way through the murky waters of strategy and operations in an uncertain world.
And for long-term listeners, hopefully this isn't too windy because the microphone has got a little hat.
The hat is back. I remember when we spent hours chasing the hat around.
Oh, God.
We even had to buy some more hats.
We bought more hats. I've got a drawer full of hats now.
It's my dream to one day have one of those really fluffy hats.
Oh, yeah, the really big ones.
Yeah,
that look like a badger.
Or the beefeater, helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's maybe that should be our theme for 2026.
Giant hats.
Giant hats. Fluffy aspirations.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a seat of the pants, very unstructured conversation.
But a sort of year in review.
Year in review, yes. We decided we'll record it just in case anything useful pops out, but it's essentially a conversation that we need to have, whether or not it's recorded.
Yeah.
So sort of look back on the last year, and we want to try and figure out a theme for this year.
Yeah. To guide us forward.
If there is a good one.
Go.
Yeah. We're sort of not one for kind of setting goals in concrete.
No.
Are we?
No.
More
gestures.
About gestures, or setting up systems to support certain dispositions.
I love it.
But anyway, I think
conditions and consequences.
Oh yes. But I think sometimes having a metaphor or a theme is quite useful. So the last year we did an episode where I don't think we landed on a theme, but we did talk about how the decking kind of felt like an appropriate metaphor for the whole year.
It did, yes, the wrecked decking.
The wrecked decking that was just a sort of layer upon layer of horrible surprises, but then led to something better than we could have hoped for as an outcome.
It did, and I think that links to what we ended up doing with our company brand, didn't we? Because last year was the year when we ripped up all the old rotten decking of Trigger Strategy Group and put in place our new beloved Crown and Reach and our little octopus.
So you're saying we should just reuse the same metaphor of the decking for 2025?
No. I think the metaphor of the decking from the previous year opened us up to being able to make that shift.
Wow, that's quite a leap.
Yeah.
Let's say it worked exactly like that.
Yeah, I think it worked exactly like that. I mean, somebody did. I said that was something that it felt like that rebrand was in some way pivotal, and in some way was a condition which enabled an awful lot of stuff to start happening.
Agree. I think we let it fester for so long that actually the signals were quite clear.
Yeah.
I think often whenever I've been involved in a company or organisation that's doing a rebrand, they're kind of moving from something that's already fine to something that they hope is going to be better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of much less obvious that it's going to be a helpful use of time and resources. But for us, we really let it get to, we have to do this or we're going to have to pack up and leave.
I mean, we did get to the point at the beginning of the year when we thought, do we just pack this in and get normal jobs? Which we didn't really want to do.
But thankfully, an octopus came along and saved us.
Hooray! Hail, octopus. So I think some of the stuff that really seemed to help, I think one is that finding that octopus metaphor, and
which we should just explain briefly.
We should, yeah. So Crown and Reach does refer to the crown and the reach of an octopus, and it's actually a reference to an Adrian Tchaikovsky book that I like because I'm a nerd. But it's the crown is like the centralized coherence and the central brain in the cephalus head. And then the reach is the tentacles, which have their own individual brains or neurons that make them able to operate independently.
So it's distributed cognition.
Exactly. You've got independent operation, but also brought into coherence by something central, and that is the crown and the reach. Ooh. And it's a metaphor for how I think we like to work and how we've seen things work well at companies. Other ways are available, but it sort of suits us, doesn't it? And it's also a metaphor for the idea of explore and exploit at the same time. They're not things that are in contrast to one another, they're part of the same system. You want that multiple safe to fail probes of the tentacles but always something coherent that holds everything together as well.
It just makes me want even more a t-shirt with an embroidered octopus on.
Yes, or the boiler suit.
The boiler suit, yeah, full boiler suit.
That would make us stand out, when we show up.
At workshops.
Look like we've come to fix the plumbing.
I want a wig which has like octopus tentacles.
I think you can get those. Yeah, I think that I can imagine now the outfit is going to be. It's definitely going to be striking.
We're just going to look like we've walked off the set of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, or one of those Star Wars characters, isn't it, with the tentacle round the neck sort of thing. I think this is good.
Memorable.
We do want to be distinctive. That was another thing that happened. So we found a metaphor that worked for us. We also lent into being distinctive. And it's worth noting, like, there's some really good work. If you're into branding in any way, it's worth looking up the work of Byron Sharp and the Ehrenberg Bass Institute. And generally, they have done a very good job of using evidence and science and reasoning and, good things like that. They overturn all of the sort of marketing doctrine which says that it's about purpose and it's about differentiation and all that sort of stuff. And they say, no, none of that tends to make it through to consumers at all or makes any difference. What matters is distinctiveness. You need distinctive, memorable brand assets, which you then build an association with. And all that really matters is that distinctiveness and market penetration. Or as the book that I referenced in a couple of podcasts ago, Why Does the Peddler Sing, points out, really, they're using a lot of fancy scientific words, but the most important thing is being famous.
So be distinctive and be famous.
Yeah. And there's a nice Dolly Parton quote, which is, figure out who you are and then do it on purpose.
Oh, I know and love that quote.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
It's a good one.
And
I think that's what we did.
Yes, yeah, I think we actually wanted to get business cards made. That was a nice moment, wasn't it?
That was nice.
Rather than, dreading having to tell people the name of our company.
The shame as you hand it over.
Oh dear. But okay, so what are you saying our theme was? Rebirth
or coherence or octopus.
That's so naff, isn't it? Octopus. The theme was octopus. I mean, it does definitely, it's almost cheating to kind of use your company brand as a theme for the year, isn't it? But
it is.
I think we've got more comfortable with having different lines of operation.
Yes.
And like knowing that they're going to keep changing over time. And I guess we periodically have this conversation around needing to package up services and kind of sell them in a formalised way and make that a thing. But actually,
we've tried that a bit.
It
doesn't really work.
And it also just doesn't quite feel right, does it? I
No.
mean, maybe we'll get to that point, but it's a lot of custom stuff.
Yeah, and I think that is in keeping with the nature of how we work with people, isn't it? Because we do a lot of sense and respond. We don't come with a pre-packaged thing that you should be doing.
What we do have is a buttload of methods, right,
Yes.
that we know and love, some of which are our own, some of which are, gratefully taken from other people and credit given when it's due. But like there's we've got probably over 100, right?
Oh, easily
over 100. I mean, you've got innovation tactics is 50 odd,
yeah,
of those
by itself,
and that was cutting down to 50 odd.
Yeah.
And I've got a load of ones, historically around messaging and propositions and that sort of thing. And I think what we've kind of come to accept is that the way we can help people best is that we have this kind of library of things that we can turn to, and you can combine different methods in different ways, and it's not about always doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But there are kind of some, I hate the word principles because it sounds like brand principles.
Oh,
but
but it is. There are some principles.
There are some ways that we will and won't work with people, and I think we've got quite clear on what those are now.
Yes.
So if I don't know, if people really want certainty about something, But it's not something you can have certainty about, which, I mean, it basically never is.
Yeah.
Then we will not promise certainty, right?
Yeah, and that means we might not get that work.
I was going to say, I mean, it's costing us money every single day.
Yeah, maybe we should just promise certainty. But I think, we just can't do it. But yeah, when we look back over the year, we had a fairly lean start to the year, should we say, and then things picked up. But if we look at all of our clients, and we had a good number, we didn't do the same thing twice at all. We used radically different methods and approaches with each one, based on where they were, what they wanted, and what emerged from the initial things we did with them.
Right, and there was a kind of common theme among the stuff that we did with these clients, which is like an element of it being exposed to the messy reality, right?
Yeah.
That is part of the work. I feel like that was a common theme.
Yeah, the principle of, I think, you could say granularity and disintermediation are things that we go for. Right, and it applies equally to, I was just sort of thinking through, there's some internal client work that we've done, for instance, with a charity, where they were doing their strategy for the next, was it a year or 5 years? 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. So we looked at that 5-year strategy. Lol. But I thought, there's no way they are going to go for it with the way that we all proposed. Jumped on a call with the CEO and basically laid out, hey, here's how we'd think about it. Totally fine if that's not for you. And then the following week, we were in doing the sessions. Yeah, and thankfully it went really well. But I mean, what I was going to say about that was the first day of that 2-day workshop involved exposing them to the kind of messy reality of like the internal kind of hopes and goals of the organisation, right? Yeah. And the landscape that they're operating in, different, so it was kind of an exposure internally, whereas other client projects that we've done, it's been exposing the client to the external kind of messy reality of their customers, right? Yeah. So it feels like it's been a fixed theme, I would say. Like, there's going to be some mess that you're going to be confronted with, and it's going to be good in the end. It's going to be okay. Yeah, what we don't do is just like, it feels a little bit like we're getting all the stuff out of your cupboards. We don't then just leave it all over the floor. So, right, you deal with that then. Here's some bin bags, go on. Yeah, we do have enough tools now as well to help you make sense of the mess. There's a subsequent part of the work which means, which involves kind of sorting through the mess to find the useful patterns and identify useful actions. Yeah. And I think what's been really fun is noticing how at no point with any of the clients did we know the answer before we went along with them. And they came up with it mostly. Yeah. There's a couple of occasions where we were more hands-on, figuring out something in a more like a more contributor role, but most of the time it's more facilitative, isn't it? And it's just creating conditions where they can figure it out. And a lot of the time they're fully, like, people are just really brilliant and smart and great, and so part of the job is just creating and holding a space for them to sit with it long enough to figure it out. Right, getting people together in the same room for long enough that some of that can just start to happen. Yeah. Normally you need an excuse for that, don't you? You've got to have some like name on the meeting that says that it is the 2026 strategy or whatever. Or, something that we've definitely learned is that we should provide a nice lunch. Oh, yes. There's got to be a platter of really good sandwiches. A packet of biscuits it's not going to cut it. No, that felt weak, didn't it? Even though some of them were the nice ones, like rolled up with chocolate. Oh, the nicest biscuits we could find, but biscuits still nonetheless. Still do the job. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're a client in 2026, expect a platter of sandwiches. I mean, can you be more excited? So that was good. So somebody actually did ask, would we attribute like this really lovely influx of clients to the rebrand? How much do you think that played a role, and what roles do you think it played? I mean, the gut reaction, obvious answer is it's impossible to say. Yeah. I think I can say with almost absolute certainty that it wasn't
the one and only lever,
Yeah.
right? But I think it was probably an obstacle that we've now cleared out of the way.
I think that's a nice way of thinking about it. It wasn't causal, but we removed something that was. It was like trying to do a hurdle race. We've just taken the hurdles down.
That's such a
Something like that. It's a terrible metaphor.
No, I mean it sounds difficult. So yeah, it does the job.
Yeah.
Oh we've taken away the hurdles. Yeah, so I think interesting. I mean, I guess there's also that it had a big internal impact on us. I think of like giving us a sense of but like ability to believe our own authority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is, I guess, something that a good brand should do. It should be an enabler for the people who are associated with it, right? Like, does it reflect what you do accurately, and does it make you feel like you can do more of it?
Yep. Did it make
with
us feel?
legitimacy?
And we just felt a sense of, is pride the word? But like being excited actually to share it and go, look, we're really excited about this. Which we were never really with Trigger Strategy Group.
No.
It was just a bit.
Oh, the name.
Yeah, I can't believe we stuck with it for so long now. But yeah, I that was really good. So our sense of pride, I think that also enabled us to actually put effort into making a website and making that halfway decent.
Right, because it sort of, yeah. Otherwise, it was just throwing good money after bad, or, you know, polishing a turd, shall we say?
Yeah, and there was nothing to go on as well.
Mm.
You know, with the metaphor, we then got a bunch of stuff that we can do to play with. So, what are you thinking?
Oh no, I was just going to say. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, and it stands in pretty stark contrast to rebrand processes that I've been through in the past, like with other companies, right? So, there was the kind of visual side of the logo and all of that, but then there was also like what we wrote on the website, and actually that process, in hindsight, I'm really glad we kind of treated it that way. We put together our kind of first stab at it, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And then a month later, we updated it again, made it a bit better, and then a month later we updated it again, and I think that's now what we've got now. But it was very iterative, and we had to kind of sit with it for a while. We had to try like dropping little bits of the messaging into podcast episodes, into newsletter articles that we wrote, into conversations with clients, and we really had to kind of road test how it felt and to gauge people's reactions to it.
Yes.
And that was like, we couldn't have forced that. Like, there would have been no way to do one big bang, here's the rebrand, here's the messaging.
We know the answer.
Like, it has had to be iterative.
Yeah. And if there's another principle that I would stand by, it's iteration. I think we approach all of our work in a pretty iterative way.
Yeah. It's almost as if you can never leap to the right answer immediately.
I mean, can you believe it?
But I mean, sometimes I get that with, you know, particularly really big organisations, sometimes you have no other option, right? You have to kind of just do your one best guess. You get one chance to do all of the updates because it's such a vast task.
Yeah.
So I think it's something that we're lucky to be able to have taken that very iterative approach, and I think it's not an option that's always available to people. Yeah,
though I suspect this gets into one of the most fun things from the year. I think was it the most fun? It wasn't particularly lucrative, but it was really exciting. I got asked to do a masterclass for a company called Deal, and so I ended up doing like this half-hour masterclass, basically a conference talk for, I think it was 1,600 people added up across the two different sessions, which is bigger than most conferences. They paid a bit of money for it. That was nice, but in it, it forced me to crystallise some stuff that we'd been thinking about, and it led to this concept that I think we're going to do more on soon this year, which is uncertainty bubbles. And I think about that because in a big organisation where you do have that one shot, you have to create an uncertainty bubble to enable you to do the iteration, because it's still iterative, it has to be, but what you do is present an external surface of one-shot certainty, and then within it you create the space for iteration and unfolding to happen.
Yeah, I remember that was a podcast episode, wasn't it, that we talked. We'll link that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's useful. Kind of create a smokescreen of certainty.
It is, yeah. And the important thing is, again, like all our methods, you're not doing this unethically, you're not lying. It's just a choice of what you present. And so Because if you do unpack any task, it turns out to be incredibly complex. There's so much to everything, and none of the people who are the stakeholders or are, funding it or whatever, want to know that much detail. They just want to know enough to feel confident that you've got this. So you present the bits of it that show we're making genuine progress and we do know where we're going.
Yeah.
But then you leave enough unsaid so that when you unfold something and it actually turns out to be a bit different than what you expected, that's still okay. No one's nose is out of joint, no one's upset.
Right, exactly. It's about not spelling out every step in advance so that you're then kind of backed into a corner. You have to take those exact steps.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an interesting thing that we'll play with this year.
So is that our theme is uncertainty bubbles? Or just bubbles? Can we make it bubbles? Because,
why not bubbles?
Octopus, they don't... Do they make bubbles?
I'm sure they make bubbles.
If they trap air and then release it, then they make a bubble.
Do octopuses guff?
I hope so. I mean, I want that as part of our branding.
I mean, they must do, because they have, I presume they have microfauna inside their gut. And they eat things, so yeah.
I look forward to looking this up
I know,
immediately after this conversation.
I know that herrings do. And I think it was a confusing thing when there were people doing underwater sonar recordings.
Oh, that they kept hearing these...
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, wow.
There you go.
Fantastic. So maybe, I mean, I do like the idea of bubbles.
Yeah, I
a
was
useful
going to
thing.
say that this year's theme was going to be like relationships or something like that. which
Oh,
is a bit-
boring.
I know, that's it. I now am bought into bubbles.
I mean, what if you have a bubble of people? That's relationships, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's a bit COVID. But yeah, we'll get with it.
Everyone's just forgotten about COVID, right?
Yeah.
We've wiped it from our memories and it's a blank slate now.
What are you even talking about?
Okay, but
yeah,
tell me...
so tell me about, like, I want to know, what was your highlight of the year?
But I want to know...
Oh, yeah.
What makes you think relationships should be our theme for this year?
So I think one of the big things that was I don't know, we have to fit this into every episode, a come to Jesus moment. But there was a realisation during this last year that publishing thought leadership and that sort of thing doesn't automatically lead to clients. So not that it doesn't work longer term. Like, I think having put our thinking out there, doing various articles, doing the podcast, things like that, has definitely led to some interesting relationships, and we've definitely got a bit of work from that.
Absolutely.
But it's not...
No,
I
it's
don't
not
think
like-
it works by itself.
Well, it's not like person reads article and then goes, I'd like to pay you X amount of thousands of pounds.
Exactly.
But I think it's probably unfair to imply that it hasn't supported those efforts at all.
I'm trying to be very careful. It supported the efforts, absolutely. But I think what we were potentially... not that we weren't doing it at all, but I think we were underestimating how much just one-on-one outreach and one-on-one conversations with clients could be, and meeting people in person.
And I
those
think
sorts of things.
we also went through over the last year a sort of process of acceptance that doing like cold lead outreach, is just not... It can work, of course it can work, and lots of people have a lot of success with it, but it doesn't really fit within our kind of natural wheelhouse.
It's not natural for us and our way of being, and it's also perhaps not a good fit for the type of work that we are doing. Because I think it probably does work if it's say you're doing a SaaS and it costs $30 a month, and it does one very clean, clear thing for companies, and you can just phone them up and say, do you have this problem and is it costing you a certain amount of money? We can take it away, and that might work. But for us, it's not like that.
Interesting. I mean, I bet there are, strategy consultancies that do cold outreach and have it work for them.
Probably right. Probably
But anyway,
right.
we just fundamentally, we didn't want to do it. And if you don't want to do something, then try and find something else you can do instead that you actually do want to do.
Yep.
Because there probably is something that will achieve the same end that you don't hate.
Yeah.
And
I think that was my favourite realisation of the whole year, was that thing of, like, we've talked about in a previous episode, I'm pretty sure, but like it was so big for me. It was at the beginning of the year, feeling this real like, this isn't working. I wish someone could just give us the playbook, give us the answer. I would pay money for someone to give us like a list of instructions that we could follow and have a business that was working. But then after not that much reflection, realising, oh no, the only thing worse than having a business that's struggling is having a successful business that you hate running.
Mm-hmm. Right. Where it requires hours a day messaging people on LinkedIn.
Oh, can we just not be on LinkedIn? That would be better.
We're on it much less now, and I think
Yeah.
we're happier for it. It's just doing the bare minimum of like, is this company still operating? Yes, okay, box ticked. But yeah, so relationships, but really a specific. You're talking about a specific sort of relationship building, which is one-to-one in the flesh. You know, sometimes.
Yeah, and not transactional.
Not transactional.
Just like, you know, we want to work with people that we like spending time with. And it's notable how much of our work actually came from people that we have known and that we like spending time with. So that was good.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay.
There you go. So did that answer your question? Because I wanted to know what, if anything, was like a highlight for you from last year.
What was a highlight from last year? Oh, I don't know. It's all so hazy. We've been talking about the rebrand, so obviously that's what's now coming to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, I know something that you mentioned was when we were doing the one of our client things, we were doing a go-to-market sprint with a really big company, and we went and did in-person workshop, and that was where we had the biscuit situation. But I remember you saying that you just felt really at home facilitating a workshop.
Oh, yes. Okay, that was definitely a highlight. I think we'd been looking forward to running in-person workshops together for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's now finally happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it was dead good.
Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I literally, my mind just went blank. I hate those sorts of questions.
It's an awful question, isn't it?
I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
We'd have to look back over the calendar and list it.
Okay, well now I'm going to turn that horrible question on you. What was your highlight moment?
I think I'd say actually that facilitating a workshop together, and it's like the biggest company we've worked with, I think, and doing something that's that was really good, doing that workshop, because it was our own method that we devised, that we put together for them, tweaked and tailored
it was
for their situation.
Yeah.
And
it
was
has
really fun.
changed some pivotal stuff for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, that was really
of their
exciting.
own accord, not us telling them they should change things, but hey, we've realised we need to change this. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And what they ended up changing was not, I think, what we expected. It was stuff that had to be them figuring it out, which was really cool. And it used granularity, disintermediation. We used safe to fail boops, to go back to the previous episode. And
that should be the episode title.
Yeah.
There we go.
Safe to fail boops. And iteration. All of those things were present. That was cool. Another one that I did really like, I think, was the strategy facilitation for the charity. And it was just because they were just so lovely, really nice people, and it felt really good to be facilitating a process where it wasn't me making them do anything, but the process really worked, and what popped out was exactly what they needed, but didn't. It's exactly what they wanted and exactly what they needed, and it was different from what anyone expected it was going to be, and that was really cool to see.
Well, there we go.
There we go. So then, looking ahead to 2026.
What am I looking forward to?
Obviously, yeah, what you're looking forward to. We've got bubbles as the theme. And
oh no, but now I feel like maybe relationships is better.
Oh, damn.
Is there a way to crowbar bubbles into working?
Bublationships.
Bublationships. What are we looking forward to?
I mean, there's something on the horizon, isn't there? We've got another small person about to join the company.
Midway through the year. Yes, joining his or her toddler brother, who I'm currently watching on the baby monitor.
Yep.
He started breathing noisily. I think the clock's ticking. He's going to wake up from his nap any minute.
Yeah, which is good. We need a time limit on this open-ended planning.
But I think I'm looking forward to, I guess, just like maybe kind of smoothing out our own operations in terms of how we work with clients. I think we're kind of figuring a lot of stuff out behind the scenes in terms of how we kind of run the business and how we kind of manage things. And I think we're kind of making improvements on that front all the time.
Yeah.
And sort of things are like, we kind of have more of a routine of knowing that things have to happen and to, I guess, reduce unnecessary surprises, like avoidable surprises.
Yeah.
I think, maybe just getting better at kind of structuring our work from within, I think.
Okay.
Does that, you look horrified?
No.
Like disgusted. Ugh.
No, that's not something I look forward to, but yeah, I look forward to the results because it does make our lives easier. It was a bit of a mad panic over the last few months, wasn't it, with more client work than we could probably quite handle, but just we pulled out all the stops and made it happen.
I think it's been okay. I think me being very, very sick
didn't
has
help.
made life harder than it would have been otherwise, but
That's true, yeah.
I think we've managed it. I think this is kind of like what you were saying a while ago. You kind of have periods where you're working at full pelt and it's not sustainable, but you can do it for a short while, and it's, in a way, it's kind of energizing, but then you need to take it easy for a little bit. And then, like, that's the reality of work, right? Like, it's not just you can't kind of manage the flow so it's a constant medium level of work, right? You're going to have these patches of more and less.
Yeah.
And just, like, I guess being prepared for that and knowing where the breaking point is and making sure you don't reach that point.
That's fair, yeah. And and I think I'm looking forward to, I'm enjoying that we're having our sort of mini sabbatical, a little bit of a calmer patch now. And I'm really looking forward to publishing and sharing some of the case studies of stuff that we've been doing, and talking about that more. Because we stopped doing as much podcasting and we stopped doing as much publishing.
It's been a while since our last email, hasn't it? I think we're going to try and get one out in the next week.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that also relates to what I was saying before about the way we structure our work from within. Right?
Yeah.
I think there are just some pieces that it's nice to have in place, and they don't not have them fall by the wayside, right? Like noisy.
Or critical.
A lady in a nice dress.
Yeah, someone's getting married.
Wow. Oh, happy day. But yeah, so things like, I would like to not get to the point where we realise we haven't sent an email for, it's been, nearly 6 months?
No, not that long.
Not
we
that
sent
long,
something
okay.
in November or October, something like that.
I think it certainly wasn't November. It must have been October. So I think there are some kind of pieces that need to be in the puzzle, and I think I would like to feel like we're not just kind of dropping the ball on those.
Yes. I think that's fair. Yeah, there's something about having those rhythms continuing even when we get busy.
Right, yeah, because it's also, not to throw your own word back at you, but it's about having those relationships with people, isn't it? And,
yep.
There are some people who listen to the podcast and get the articles that we publish, who it is part of a personal relationship, and those communications are kind of feeding into that one-to-one relationship, right? So
yeah, and we love hearing from you.
We do.
If you're still listening at the end of this pretty self-indulgent one, then we'd love to hear from you. And do send us an email. Tentacles@crownandreach.com.
Yes, it might take us a week or two to reply, but we do very much enjoy hearing something back from the void.
Yeah.
But there we go. That's it.
Nice.
That's it. Our theme for last year was octopus.
And our theme for this year, relationships. And I think I'd like to have some more people maybe listening to the podcast.
Right, and you've started publishing them on YouTube.
YouTube,
now.
yeah.
So, yes, I agree. I think Why do you want to have more people listening to the podcast?
Just pure ego.
I boop you on the nose.
No, I think it's I don't know, I think that we talk about stuff on the podcast where we get into like details and examples which are harder to process if you're writing it down.
Right, it's the sort of, there's some stuff that kind of can't exist in another format.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the regular listeners, of which there are now quite a few, like clearly people enjoy it. There might be more people out there who would also enjoy it.
I think so, yeah. If you know somebody who you think might enjoy it, then please do share it. I'll tell you why I think the podcast is good. When we write stuff, it tends to be more like conceptual, doesn't it? This could be a topic for another podcast. But I remember one of the most transformative experiences I had in my career was just being there while somebody was doing their thing and like thinking through things the way they thought through them and taking action. And it was a group of consultants. We were doing A/B testing type experimentation stuff, conversion rate optimization when that was all the hotness. And we'd get together, we were all remote, and then we'd get together for this kind of conference or meetup twice a year to get everybody together. And one of the sessions we'd do when we were together would be hot seats. So someone would come with a client and a situation they had, and then everyone would chip in with like, well, here's how I would do it, here's the way we'd take it on. And so this person came with their challenge that they had, and one of the company directors just said, well, do you know about this answer to this question? The guy said no. So the company director just picked up the phone and phoned the company's customer support line and found out. And they did it. There was no plan. There was no research program in place. There was no, strategizing. It was just, well, we need to know. Let's phone up. And I thought, oh, you can just do that. And you could have told me that in a book or whatever. But it's being along for the ride while people are thinking out loud and doing things that is
I see
really
what you mean.
Differently transformative.
Kind of allowing a window into the kind of messy reality of figuring things out.
Yeah. Because you kind of then know, oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
In a way that it might not seem okay if you're just reading about it.
Right, or indeed like we've heard feedback from listeners that they like the fact that this isn't a highly produced, pre-edited kind of structured conversation.
Exactly.
Because it almost sets unrealistic expectations of what conversations about work should be like.
Yeah, that's it. It's all like pre-packaged media sound
teams
bites.
of writers putting this stuff together for you.
Messaging discipline.
And I think it does. Okay, it sets unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
So
it's okay to bumble your way through like an octopus.
And on that note, Toddler has turned off the monitor, so we better go and see if he's all right. Bye.